I don't care if it's a week, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? LeBron James. That's who y'all gotta start appreciating. And you gotta stop disrespecting this man. You got AJ Brown, who's a legit number one, and you got Julio, who's a legit number one. One of them dudes gotta get double teamed. Who gonna get double teamed? And whoever gets double teamed, the other one gets the ball. I'm saying this with no pun intended, with full of pride. You ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what it do, baby? It is your boy Pride. Welcome to another episode of the Prideful podcast. I promise y'all, it's not Wednesday. I'm sorry, it's not Monday. It's Wednesday. We got my boy Mike in on the show. How you feeling, my guy?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm so used to Mondays, and that's just Wednesday cracking.
Right? It low key feels it feels weird. It feels like my week is all messed up because you're here.
I'm usually at work just watching.
Gritty and Yuki with the comment. Hey, guess who got the dub in OT? Live your life. Live your best life. I can't brag about our win because we were on a bye and we got to come off this bye, beat the shit out of the Colts. Then after that, beat the shit out of the Bills and move on. But before we even get into any of that,
hey, the Niners playing well, man. The Niners playing well.
Yeah, bro. They have been. Real quick, let's recap before we give our Thursday night predictions. Let's recap on what happened Monday night. Oh man, what a time to be alive, bro! What a fucking time. I had the Cardinals. You had the Rams. Rams handled their business. Matthew Stafford, 23 for 30, 283 with 3 touchdowns. Kyler Murray, look, he had an interesting day, right?
Yeah.
32 for 49. 383 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, which wasn't, it's interesting to say the least. Mike, obviously you had the Rams, so how hype were you when they got the win?
I wasn't too hype. I was hyped because I was right. That's pretty much it. But It was nice seeing the Rams beat an actual good team, and I really love to see Odell Beckham continue to prove that he can still play, and you see Baker Mayfield still Baker Mayfield, and OBJ last 3 games he scored 3 touchdowns, so I'm loving it. OBJ proving everybody wrong, and now every time I tune into ESPN, everybody is silent. I don't hear nothing. Like all the attention just went towards Baker Mayfield. So yeah.
Go ahead now. Go ahead. Finish.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
You done?
Yeah.
I watched the game. And even though Kyler Murray has 2 picks, one of them was deflected by Aaron Donald. So I'm not gonna. I think that was I think it was the first pick that happened. Second pick was completely Kyler Murray's fault. He's got away that one. But I will say this: watching that game, for me, the Rams finally ran the ball. Sonny Michel had 20 touches, bro.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that too. They finally decided to run the ball.
You know what I mean? Like 20 touches. Like you're letting him run the clock right now. The end of the game in terms of clock management, questionable at best. But I will say this: Rams did what they had to do. A couple comments from Gritty and Yuki. First and foremost, do you think Washington is similar to the Ravens because of COVID? I'm assuming you mean the teams, right? Like in terms of the team, the talent on the teams. Not really. I do still think the Ravens do have the better roster.
Yeah,
but
without Lamar Jackson, it's kind of like
you can't say that because with Tyler. Because honestly, they almost beat the Browns with Tyler Huntley. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm saying like Lamar Jackson is I guess you can say elite, but you look at Heineken and Huntley, they kind of in the same. You can say in the same group, but I would say
like they're okay, but you're not gonna trust them to take you to the promised land.
They can beat a team. They can upset a team. So I'm saying if you take out Lamar Jackson, then it's the same roster because Washington got some decent receivers. Same with Baltimore. They defense good. Ravens defense solid. So I agree with the comment. I think they're the same if you take out Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Cooper Cup, 13 receptions, 123 yards. Odell,
I
6 receptions, 77 yards.
I think he might can win. I mean, I want to see somebody else win MVP outside of the quarterback.
I'll be honest with you. If you're telling me to pick a non-quarterback,
Yeah,
I
Cooper
believe
Kupp
it's a
got it.
two-man race between Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Cup. And I'm gonna go with Cooper Cup just because Cooper Cup's been doing it for all year.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So Van Jefferson had 2 touches for 58 yards. He also had a rush. You know, they kind of give him a rush. He had one rush for 10 yards. Another question, Mike, from Gritty and Yuki, which is very interesting for the Bengals. Do you think they're gonna finish 7-10 or 8-9 by the end of the season? And before you say anything, let me pull up
pull
their
up the
schedule so I can list off their schedule to see how you think they will fare. So, first and foremost, they are currently they're 7-6. Okay, that's their record right now, 7-6. This is their remaining schedule. Sunday, they play the Broncos.
That's probably going to be a W.
Right.
But the Broncos defense is,
I think honestly, I think the Bengals will get this win.
Yeah.
Then after that, they got the Ravens, which I don't know if Lamar's gonna play, and you know what I mean. Because even though he's playing, because he is playing Sunday, he gets re-injured. Now we're looking at something completely different. So the Ravens. Then after that, they play the Chiefs. Then they end the season playing the Browns.
Yeah.
So, honestly,
it can go either way.
I think 9-8.
9-8.
I think 9-8.
So who you got to lose?
I got them beating the Broncos and the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say they lose to the Ravens because I'm gonna go along the lines that the injury to Lamar Jackson is not serious and it's something minor.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I'll give the Ravens a close win. To me, that one's tough, but I give the Ravens a close win, and I think the Chiefs gonna blow the doors off the Bengals. So for me, as the last 4 games, I got them 2-2, which kind of brings them from 7-6 to 9-8. That's how I look at them.
I can agree with that because I do think the Ravens and you said the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, both of those probably a loss. I do think they probably can beat the Browns twice. No, they played the Browns once, right? And then Broncos. Yeah, I think they can beat the Broncos.
It goes Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, Browns.
Yeah, I agree with you. 9-8.
Yeah. So, it's going to be very, very interesting how their season finishes up. But I mean, look, let me ask you a question regarding the Rams. Obviously, they were going through some trials and tribulations, and there was a point last week people didn't even consider them a legitimate Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
With this win over the Rams, over the Cardinals, do you believe that this is enough to at least keep them in the Super Bowl title conversation?
I mean, I'm gonna say yes, just alone that if I just hope that Sean McVay watch this game and be like, we are really unstoppable if I decide to run the football. I got a quarterback who can make plays. My defense good. If we run the football, we can't be stopped because you're not one dimensional. You got the passing game and the running game. So if they stick to that, this team can be real scary.
Right, and on top of that, some of the nice clean looks that Matthew Stafford had came off some play action, which again opens up in what a lot of people have been screaming the whole time. When you have a run, you establish the run and utilize the play action, it opens so much more for you.
And they got 3 good receivers: Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, and Jefferson. So,
and I'm telling everyone, Van Jefferson I don't know if he'll be a superstar, but at the bare minimum, he gonna be a star.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum, he's gonna be a star. Um, Chiefs and Chargers play tomorrow. Uh, it is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's in LA. It's going to be, yep, it's going to be in LA.
Yeah.
They're both in the same division. This is a very important game for both of these teams. Um, it's really a situation where, in terms of their division, um, really one game is separating them. You know, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I'm right on that. Yep. So the Chiefs are 9-4, and the Chargers are 8-5.
Yeah.
So this is very important for them because, for all we know, this potentially could decide who wins the division. This potentially could, especially if the Chargers win, it's gonna make things interesting. And the Chiefs can, if the Chiefs handle their business and win, it's gonna be very, very interesting. As of right now, the Chargers are they're underdogs.
Mhm.
If you put them on the money line, they're plus 140. In terms of the spread, they're plus 3. So let me ask you, who you got winning, the Chiefs or the Chargers?
Um, I want to say a upset. I want to go with the Chargers, but I believe the Chargers beat them beginning of the season, right?
Yes, they did.
So I'm going with the Chief. I think Patrick Mahomes gets his revenge, and I think they're on a hot streak right now. So I think they stop the Chargers and get the W.
Mm. I'm with you there. And the reason I'm picking the Chiefs is simply because when they played, when the Chiefs and Chargers first played, this was a different Chiefs team. This
Yeah,
defense was horrible, and the offense was messing up because they were trying so hard to overcompensate for the defense.
yeah,
The defense has stepped up, and again, and this is what I'm saying. This
yeah.
doesn't have
Defense
to
playing
be,
good.
yeah, this defense doesn't have to be all world. All they need to do is one thing and one thing only. Those, we just got to be optimistic or opportunistic. That's what I'm looking for. They need to be opportunistic. They need to be able to, some plays, hold it down. That's all
Yeah,
they need to do. As long as they do that, they're gonna give their offense that's extremely high powered a chance. And now that the defense is stepping up, Patrick Mahomes coming off, what was it, 5 touchdowns he threw against the Raiders?
yeah, they he killed the Raiders.
Right. So coming off of that, I genuinely believe that this will be the Chiefs kind of revenge game in a sense,
Yeah,
because you got to remember, and I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the people. I was saying, is it possible that this year the Chiefs are just gonna have to take the year off because the legitimate question was, can this defense step up? Now, obviously they have. So now that the defense has stepped up, the offense doesn't always have to
yeah.
do bust every single time.
I,
You know
w-
what I mean?
I was one of those. I was one of the people too. I was basically saying the defense. I felt like Patrick Mahomes needed another target outside of Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. I just feel like they need just one more receiver just to help him out.
Yeah. Gritty and Yuki with the comment, how the hell do you allow 48 points? This ain't college football. And you're right. Like, I'll be honest, after the third touchdown, that team, the Raiders defense looked completely and utterly
They
demoralized.
got some players on the defense.
They look demoralized. They look like, you know what, we don't care anymore.
I don't know
And I don't
what's wrong
blame
with the
them. I
Raiders.
don't blame them.
They start off so good and then they just crumble.
And that's, it's a shame. It really is a shame. But I'm with you. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I do like the Chargers. I really
Yeah,
do. But
I
again,
love
this is a Chiefs
Justin
team that's,
Herbert.
yeah, this is a Chiefs team that's starting to figure it out.
Yeah,
So, if we were talking about the same Chiefs team that was struggling, you know, I get it.
but I
But
wouldn't be surprised if it's an upset though. I would not be surprised if the
oh, no,
Chargers
no, to
pull
me
it
it's gonna
out.
be a close game. Real quick. So, in response to the rising COVID-19 cases, um, the Ontario government is reinstating the capacity limits for larger venues. Um, Games for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Ottawa Senators, and Toronto Raptors will now be limited to 50% capacity. Now, that's something people need to pay attention to. Because if Toronto, if they're starting that in Canada,
yeah,
there's a legit chance it might leak back into the NBA, to the normal everyday NBA.
yeah.
So just throwing that out there, that is something they need to pay attention to. Last comment before we move on. The whole situation with John Gruden and Henry Ruggs, honestly, F them in the A, which they mean fuck them in the ass. It did. It really did. Because, and honestly, I just think it was really all that stuff. I thought they were going to be able to write it. But you know, trying to do positives, you know, trying to constantly, you know, have a positive outlook on nothing but negative, you know, situations that's happening, eventually you're going to run out of steam. That's just kind of the way it is. The Lakers have had internal conversations about trading Russell Westbrook, which no shit. I don't know why people are surprised by this, and it's adorable. People are now saying, "Oh my God, well, Russell, look at his stats," you know. And I'm like, congratulations. He's not only is he quote stepping up, but he's stepping up to have the Lakers be a 500 ball club. They're essentially a 500 ball club at this point. So, in terms of the conversation they have had of trading him, Mike, is this a good idea?
Yes, it's a good idea. Before the show started, I was sitting here trying to come up with trade packages. Like who can I trade Russ for to get some back? I could not think of nothing. Like I went through all the teams. I was like, oh, they don't need Russ. They don't need Russ. And the only teams I sit down and thought about it was the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks. And the only reason with Detroit is maybe you can trade Russell and try to get a Jeremy Grant flip. And with the Knicks, maybe you could try to find a way to trade Kimba, switch Kimba and Russell Westbrook. Other than that, I could not think of not one trade for Russell Westbrook.
I'm telling you this, I know. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being a little messed up. But at this point, by the way, greeting Yuki with the comment. I'm not surprised Westbrook is going to get traded. Send to the Pelicans. Look,
That's another team.
but the thing is, he's not going to fit clean anywhere. That's just kind of a fact we need to, you know. There's no perfect fit for him. Now, I will say this. In terms of them just having the conversations. I said this before. It is a bad idea to have the conversation if you're not serious on trading Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
You cannot with Russell Westbrook have these conversations and first think he's not going to find out. Let's just get that shit out the fucking way, right? There's no way he's not going to find out because Russ is a dude. If he hears this, he's going to go and ask, "Hey, what the fuck is going on?" Especially considering they brought him in to be a very important piece, right? So, me personally, I don't think they should be having any conversations like this unless you're going to do it. Because here's the problem with that. Russ ain't like the young kids.
Yeah.
You know, last year or the year before last, they had all the young kids and they had Lonzo and Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. You know, they were going to get traded and then they came back and they were like, okay, we'll be all right. If you think Russ really going to come back, like what history from Russ's playing career has he ever been? Oh, almost straight. Okay, all right, I'll be a good noodle. You know, I'll fall in. Like he's never done that. You know, this is a guy who's in his mind is already a made man.
Yeah.
You know, like in Russell Westbrook's mind, I'm a made man, and if I win a chip, cool, but I don't give a shit. If we're gonna be honest, right? So, for me, I don't think it's a good idea to have these internal conversations unless you're actually going to do it. You know, like I don't think it should just be like, hey, do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah.
It should be more along the lines of if we're having the conversation, we need to move on. And now we need to start looking at teams to trade him. Because if Russ finds this out, and he goes and asks, I guarantee he's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck is going on, man? Like just a few months ago, I was the missing piece. Now y'all trying
Yeah,
to get rid of me. Like, like in his mind, he's like,
but
yo, make your mind up.
we all know he was the scapegoat. But I was just thinking while you were talking, one team that I feel like would be perfect for Russell Westbrook and perfect for the Lakers is the Pacers. Russell Westbrook for Malcolm Brogdon and Miles Turner.
I don't think it'll be Malcolm Brogdon because
You
they
don't
don't
think
want to. I
so?
don't think they don't want to get rid of Malcolm Brogdon. Though they want to get rid of Karis LeVert though.
Or you can do
So
Carol.
if you swap Brogdon for LeVert, I might
Yeah.
like that. I might like
But
that.
so you have Westbrook and Brogdon at the 1 and 2.
Yes.
Because Sabonis, I think Sabonis and Westbrook would be a nice 1-2 punch in Indiana because he like the big who can pick and roll, and that's like kind of Sabonis. Like Russ
He'll
thrives.
treat him. He'll treat him like he did to Steven Adams,
Yeah,
with the occasional opportunity of giving him a 3 or 2.
yeah.
That's kind of how I see him as opponents fitting. Gritty and Yuki with the question: do you think Westbrook should retire? Mike, I'm gonna let you answer this first.
I don't think he should retire. I just think he need a team that he can just thrive on. He can't pairing him up with a superstar is just not going to work. Because we've seen time and time again, he wants the ball in his hand. He wanna run the offense. So he need his own team.
Right.
And that's why I said the Pacers, he can run his own team. He don't have to worry about he can be the 1A, but they probably not gonna win too many games, but he can still post the triple doubles, maybe get you a 7 seed. But we've seen time and time again LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Paul George. It haven't worked out for us. So he don't he oh go ahead.
And you're right. And you're right. And that is the problem for me. Do I think he should retire? I'm gonna tell you this right now. If his only reason right now for playing is to win a ring,
Yeah.
retire.
But
Period.
but I think he need to get Carmelo. Like somebody not gonna pick him up for 1 year. He needs to humble himself. Like this is not my game no more. I got to change up if I want to win a championship. So
And right, and that's the thing. Like, honestly, I don't believe Russell Westbrook, and this is just me. I don't think he will ever win a ring. Just because that's not him. You
yeah, he
know,
he still think he's the superstar. He think he's 1A, the number one option. In reality, he's not. He's just
which
not.
is right, and that's a bad mentality to consistently have when you've consistently shown you're not that guy anymore.
Turnover. He can't shoot. Huge turnover machine. So it's just
Right?
like
Like, look, like. So I'm just like, because a lot of people were like, "Oh my goodness, Russ is so amazing. Russ is great. Russ does everything you need to." Now here comes, if you don't like Russ, da 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 da. And I'm like, bro, like, look, man, the last game, right, against the Magic, he had 19 points, and they're applauding that. And I'm like, fam, it took him 18 shots to get it. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
yeah. For Russ' sake, he needs to just go to one of these teams to just who just get them to the 7 8 seed. Just who get your numbers.
Right. Like, look, and again, and this is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is his last 10. His last 10, right? He had a 10 for 18, 5 for 15. And this is just how he shot from the floor. 10 for 18, 5 for 15, 10 for 18, 10 for 16, 9 for 21, 4 for 8, 9 for 16, 3 for 9, 4 for 8, 9 for 18, right? In those, he had 31, 20, 29, 25, 23, 10, 24, 9, 8, 19, right?
Yeah.
Now, keep all that what I said in mind, right? Because what we also need to put into consideration and what we need to put in context, let me pull it up here because this is the same Lakers team that in their last in those 10 games that supposedly, that's supposedly how great Russ is. In their last 10, let's see, what is today? Okay, so 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're 6-4 in their last 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is solid. Which is solid. Now, ask me how many times, in terms of leading them in points, ask me how many times it was Russ.
How many?
None.
0.
Ask me how
Yeah.
many. Like, none. Zero. 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 Zip. Zips on. Like that's not right. But again, I was told he was a phenomenal scorer. That's what I was told. I
Yeah.
was told he was that great. You know what I mean? The last time he led them in terms of points, the last time was when they lost to New York. That was the last time. We need to put this in context. The dude is also a turnover machine, bro, and it's not even close, man. It's not even close. Like for his career,
How old is Russ again? Since you on his
33.
33. Yeah.
So he's averaging, you know what I mean? So in his career, he averages about 4.1 turnovers per game. Um, in terms of how he is for the Lakers right now, about 4.6
Turnovers?
turnovers per game. That's how many he's averaging per game, right? For context, for context, he's giving you almost 2 turnovers. Oh, I'm sorry, he's giving you for every assist he gives you, it's about a turnover and a half. For every assist he gives you. So, do I think he needs to retire? No, but at some point,
He got to start thinking about what he want to do. Like you just gotta accept, like you not that guy no more. You
yep.
not that
Real
guy.
quick, Green Yuki. So apparently the Yankees might sign Carlos Rodon. I've heard that, but at the same time, it can't be official with the lockout and all that stupid shit or whatever. So we'll find out. It's going to be very interesting if they can, because that is one of the problems that they have in terms of their bullpen. They're not sure with Luis Severino. Um, they kind of want to take a more patient approach with him. So and James Tyone, he's really not that guy. They just lost Corey Kluber. So they're not ready to bring up Debbie Garcia just yet. So there's a lot of things that's kind of going in. So if they can get Carlos Rodon, who came off a great year, have him be your one or your two, then after that, your two top pitchers will be him and Garrett Cole. Then your three will probably be, someone else they'll sign. They do have a lot they need to work with, but for the Yankees, this would be a good pickup. But like I said, I'm gonna end it with this. If the Lakers really had this conversation, they just need to go ahead and trade him, because in less than 4 months, like you can't say he's the savior.
Yeah.
He's the missing piece. Then now having internal conversations about trading him, and at the same time, I don't know if I don't know how this is gonna bode well for Russ, because Russ is gonna be like, all right, fuck this noise. You know what I mean? Like Russ ain't the type of dude to kind of be like, oh, okay, I'll fall in line. Like
Yeah.
Russ is like, hey yo, what the fuck y'all talking about? So it's gonna be very intriguing to see where they go from here.
Somebody got to get the blame.
Facts. Last topic we want to talk about: Kemba Walker. Knicks pulled him out of the rotation. Right now, for the Knicks, this is something that's very interesting to me. Extremely interesting, right? Tom Thibodeau, he benched Kemba. He was like, look, this isn't good. It's not working out for us. Sucks. Hell of a player, but we need to move on, et cetera, et cetera. All that shit, right? With Kemba in the lineup, they were 10-9. Right? Now, disappointing, sure, but nothing crazy. Since then, they've been 2-11. So they pulled him out. And what's interesting to me, this is what's wild to me, something I'll never in my life fully understand. Maybe you, Mike, can explain something for me, right? Because I'm at a loss, right? They pull Kemba Walker for Kemba Walker. Yet Evan Fournier still is finding himself getting minutes. Let me say that one more time. They'll pull Kemba, but somehow, some way, Evan Fournier is still getting numbers.
Yeah, that's a bad. He's shooting horrible. I'm looking at his stats: one for
Like,
five, two for eight,
bro,
three for eight.
he's from the floor. He's shooting 40% from the floor, 36% from three. With that 36 is it's like his second worst in his career. Second worst. I think at 1 year he shot like 35%. Like, you know what I mean? His like to me it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm just gonna spit out a couple of his beautiful stat lines that some of the mitt work that this man has done. His last 5, 7, 7, 9, 6, and 2. When he gave the first time he gave him 7 points, 3 for 8. Second time he gave him 7, 2 for 6. And by the way, 2 for 6, that's the field goal. That's not even from 3. Not even from 3. Raptors, 9 points, 3 for 8. The Bucks, beautiful. Creme de la creme, 2 for 8. With a phenomenal showing from the 3-point line, bro. He was lights out the 3-point line, going a whopping 1 for 7. Then, last night, when they took an L to the Warriors, he decided to say, you know what? Enough of the slander on my name. I'm going to step up. And he gave us a whopping 2 points, going with a phenomenal 1 for 5 from the field, and a phenomenal top-tier level of a 0 from 4 from the 3-point line. Yet some fucking how, Kemba Walker can't get burnt.
I look at it like that contract. You're not for the city guy. You paying $18 million. Kemba Walker is easy to get rid of. I think if Fournier was on the same deal as Kemba, he'd be benched. You just not for the bench a guy making $18 million. You might trade him, but I don't think they're gonna.
Fuck that. If you really want to keep him, I'm benching him. No bullshit. I'm fucking because look, if you trade for Evan Fournier, you're not gonna get much for him anyway. I mean, let's put this in context. You're not gonna get much for Evan Fournier, who even though he's young, I think he's only like 29. He's not 30. He's under 30. But there's no way you're gonna get it for a 30-year-old who plays like he's older. Like, let's put that in context. Dude plays like he's freaking older than LeBron. Okay? Doesn't give you defense. He doesn't like he's basically a sharpshooter. That's it. He's like he's like a cheaper version of Kyle Korver, who's out there solely for shooting. That's all he is. He's out there for shooting. He's not giving you that. Why? You might as well bench him to be like, all right, look, because again, right now, who's better, Kemba Walker or Evan Fournier?
Kemba.
Right? If you can bench Kemba, who's the better player, I don't give a shit how much does it? And Gritty and Yuki with the comment, phenomenal. Dude's playing like he's 56 years old. No, and this is not a lie. Not a lie. The way, like, he already plays older. So when people say Evan Fournier, they're like, oh, yeah, bro, he's like 35, 36. Nah, homie, he's not even 30. This is what, technically speaking, the prime of his career? And again, the fact that Kemba's getting benched and Evan Fournier is still getting touches blows my mind. And I get the financial side you're talking about, but if you really, me personally, at some point, you need to understand that when it comes to the whole financial side, at some point, you're going to need to make a point. You have to. You have to make a point. You got to go and say, you know what? It is what it is. We like you, but ain't no way you're playing like shit, man. We got to punish you. I mean, let's be honest, bro. If you're playing like shit, you got to get benched.
But not a lot of coaches can do that to a player. Because now you say to a player, you hurt his feelings. And it's like.
But Evan Fournier is not a do or die player. Yeah. Like, at best, I mean wholeheartedly. At best, the dude is
A sharpshooter.
come on, bro. Like
I mean,
at best,
the
he's a role player.
the games he's hot, you love him, and then but he can't go cold, and he can't have a stretch where he's cold like he on now.
So
And
that's what I'm saying. Like
and
if
it's the same with Kemba. Like Kemba can get hot,
no,
and Kemba
no,
can get cold.
nah, bro, nah. Because this is what I would have done. This is what I would have done. Greeting you with the comment. Hell, AP is playing better than him, and he ain't even a basketball player. Seriously, this old man needs to retire. And when they say old man, they're referring to Evan Fournier. When it comes, what I would have done personally, because Kevin Walker was shooting great from three. He was shooting
Yeah,
like 40% from the
well,
3-point line. I would have made him beat Evan Fournier. I would have sat down and been like, all right, Kembo, we got two options here. Either A, you play like a sharpshooter, and we basically use you for sharpshooting purposes.
yeah, I wouldn't. I would have him come off the. I would have him come off the bench. I would have told him, yeah, Kemba, we need you a spark. Come off the bench and
That's right. That's right. Now I wouldn't. I don't even think you need to really have him coming off the bench. You just really tell him, bro, you're gonna adjust your play style a little bit, and you're gonna. And by the way, Tom Thibodeau, who's a defensive minded coach, again he benches Kemba Walker. Yeah, Evan Fournier, who literally is the definition of a fucking defensive liability. Steph Curry plays better defense than this dude, and he's still in the lineup. I mean, let's put some context in this, bro. You know what I mean? Like when you really look at this to me, 110%, and I mean this wholeheartedly with disrespect, is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life, bro. Like, this is some dumb shit. If we're gonna be honest. Because again, you're telling me why you're benching Kemba and Evan Fournier still playing. And by the way, I will say this. I believe right now, Kemba Walker, if you put him back in, I think Kemba Walker right now will play way better.
I mean, I agree because what the Knicks missing is a real bucket getter. Like they, everybody on their team can be hot, and they can be cold. Like Julius Randle can have a 30-point game, and he can have 3 games where he like 2 for 20, 2 for 18 or something like that. Like, they need a real bucket getter. That's to me what I think the Knicks problem is. They need a actual star. Like Randall's not an actual 1A or RJ Barrett. They both still got flaws in their games, and they both streaky scorers. Like everyone on that roster is just streaky. I'm laughing at because I remember beginning to see the Knicks fans was killing me in the conversation. Oh, we gonna be better than the Bulls. We gonna be killing the Bulls. Like the first game we played against the Knicks, man. The Knicks fans were running around the United Center, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. I'm like, chill, bro. It's one game. Look at them now on the outside looking in.
Right. And again, like for
And
me,
we still in second place at not playing a game this week. COVID.
yeah, which is wild, bro. Like you guys got hit real bad. And I feel bad, but at the same time I don't. Cause and this is even a shot because here's the thing. When it came to this whole, coronavirus thing, right? The league fucked up by not thinking something like this could possibly
Yeah.
happen. Right? Like the instant when they started doing the whole vaccine mandate thing, the instant somebody said, one person, doesn't matter how good they are, one of them said, I'm scared to take it. I don't feel comfortable. Whatever the case may be. Once one person said that, immediately they should have been like, damn, potentially this could lead to somebody else saying it. Then we have a few people saying it. Then maybe what if a whole team gets it? Like, what if this happens in some world? Well, it will never happen. But what if it does? Shouldn't we have something in place just in case this were to happen?
Yeah, like it always take one person to speak up. Everybody like, damn, this on my mind, but I don't want to be the first one to say it. So when the first person said, oh, everybody feel good about this, and now everybody gonna be like, oh yeah, I feel this way too, because somebody already spoke out about it.
Right. So for me, man, it's just ridiculous, man. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, bro. Um, like they should have had something.
But no, they needed that money. They didn't want to lose no money, so it's
and
like
and I understand, they want to, have money. I get that, I understand. But here's kind of my whole thing when it comes to that. I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, for like, these guys, whatever. Like, not like at the end of the day, the league fucked itself over because they either did not have the conversation with themselves, which is very irresponsible, or B, which this is where I think they went, started the conversation, then thought, nah, it'll never happen, and then moved the
yeah.
fuck on.
They could at least did this season 50% in stadium just to see how do they went straight to full capacity, and then some of them blame got beat on the ticket holders because I went to a few Bulls games already, and they don't even read the name. You show them something, they just look at it and you're in. Half of them don't even read the card,
Yep.
so it's
So yeah, they don't really care.
like you
Gritty
can
Yuki with the comment saying the NFL is dealing with COVID too. We got like 72 players getting the 19.
Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield
right
just got
now
hit.
currently, it is over 70 players, and the NBA is at 30 plus, and the numbers for both sports are climbing. I don't know if you heard what we said earlier, Gritty Yuki, but Ontario, like Toronto, they're cracking back down on COVID. So now all the arenas can now only be filled to 50% capacity. So that
It should
means
have been like that.
the Senators, the there's one more team I'm missing. The no, that's I was about to say the Blackhawks, but that's Chicago. Um it was the Senators, the
I think Maple
Toronto
Leaf
Raptors,
is Toronto Maple Leaf. I think that's their
and the
home
Maple
team.
Leafs. Yes. I believe yes, it was the Maple Leafs. Where now it's all 50%. Like only at 50% capacity. And look, I genuinely believe that's how it's gonna be because they're gonna have to make a decision.
So what
You
do you think
know,
they do with the other 50% who got the tickets? Do you think
real
they?
quick, real quick, Mike. Hold on to that thought. Gritty Yuki with the banger
I just
to
hit that. Just
literally piggyback off of what you was just saying, Mike. You can bring a card from 1967 and you're still getting in the damn arena.
yes,
But the problem with that is when it's at full capacity, they don't care.
yeah. They trying to get everybody in
Exactly.
because
Now, when
what
it's at 50 capacity or 50% capacity with less people, maybe they're more inclined to care and they're more inclined to actually
but
look.
the game I went to, I was late. I think I arrived at the first quarter, and so I had my ID ready. I had my card ready. So I think he's from the A. So he's like, let me see your card. I had to show him the card. He didn't even ask for the ID. Like, it could have been my dad card. And I'm like, cool. Like
Yep. And
so.
that's the sad part about it,
And then the
man. It's
Bears,
like,
they don't ask for that shit. They let you walk right
nah,
in.
yeah, they don't. And the crazy part about it is like, like doing that, letting people just come and sit willy nilly, like that's what contributes to the Raptors and potentially other teams starting to put back the capacity limit. And guess what? If they put the capacity limit, guess what that means? We're one step closer to another bubble that nobody wants. The fans don't want it, the players don't want it, the coaches don't want it, executives don't want it, and the leagues don't want it. So it's like, what are we doing here? Gritty and Yuki with two comments back to back. But the first one, I'm not really surprised the Raptors are doing that because they don't want to risk that stuff. But I feel like the NFL should be doing the same thing with their stadiums, and they should be. Will they? We don't. Like honestly, we got like, and I understand this when it comes to this stuff. The NBA and the NFL, they're not gonna do anything until they have to. Like if there's a 1% chance that they don't have to do it, they won't do it. They're not going to put a capacity or
And,
anything.
and
And
the
another one for you,
NFL,
Mike. Greedy Yuki said, "Hey, Mike, what's like going to Soldier Field?"
and you get there and you show them the ticket and you win. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
The people who passing out the peanuts, the beers, they ain't got no mask. people behind the counter cooking the food. They ain't got no man. So it's pretty much a packed arena. Like everybody just walking around. They don't ask for nothing. The Bulls, they at least ask for the card, but they don't check the ID. You just show them anything and they look at it. If it say COVID shot or whatever it say, they let you right on in.
And again, the sad part about it, and look, man, look, I get it sucks to have to do that stuff, but here's my whole take on it. I'd rather have to do all this shit for 6 months, kill this fucking whole corona shit, and move on, rather than have to,
It's been like
do
what?
have to open and close and open and close. And now it's to the point where, like, they're now, when it comes to going in and out of the country, right? Like when you play, like, for instance, the Toronto Raptors, right? Or the because I believe it was the NBA. That's either the NBA or the NFL. No, it's got to be the NBA because there's no NFL teams up there. So it's got to be the NBA. When you go out and play in Canada and you come back, since you're crossing a border, they're trying to make you do like 2 weeks of quarantine because you were in a different country.
Yeah.
And it's like, at some point we got to get our shit together at some point.
Yeah. I think the NFL. I think the NBA might make a change soon because, like I said, the season's still early. The NFL really only got 4 weeks left, and then they ain't really got to worry about half the league. So they can get if they get through these 4 weeks, get to the playoffs, you down to like what 14 teams.
But here's my problem with that, Mike. Here's my problem with that. And by the way, Green Yuki with another comment. They're saying because of going in and out, they're saying because of the agreement with the NFL and the CFL, which, yeah, that definitely plays it. But here's my problem with that, Mike. Imagine if like all this stuff, like what happened with the Bulls, imagine if that happens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now,
I think they might postpone playoffs again. They might
and now that's the problem, because now the other teams who aren't are going to get mad at that.
Yeah.
But then if you go and say, well, you got sick, you're screwed or whatever, the people who, like, on that team, like, let's say you got to miss some games and they just give you the L, they're going to be mad. So now the league is probably going to be like, fuck it, we're canceling the season. Now where do we go from there?
Or they might give you 2 weeks before the playoff just to quarantine and then come play. I don't know. It's a lot of things that you can't really. You just gotta be your P's and Q's and just do the right thing. And I don't know, man. It's like the world we live. It's going on 2 years with this, so it seemed like life itself. Like wake
and
up.
I'll be honest with you, bro. This is never gonna end. Yeah. It's never gonna end. It's never gonna end. And it's a complete and utter shame. Last comment of the night, Gritty and Yuki said Washington might forfeit the game against the Eagles because of their COVID situation. And I guarantee if they do that, they're going to be all pissy-wissy and they're going to be mad about it. And it's like, especially considering that these two teams are jockeying for playoff position. Like, the Washington football team is still in the playoffs and the Eagles are right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, this is a divisional game. So, this matters, It's not like Tampa Bay playing the Jags, where it's kind of like, whatever, this shit really don't matter.
Just get a Buccaneers to win. They're going to win anyway.
Exactly. So, like, it's tough. It really is, man. But hopefully they could figure it out. That's really all I can hope for at this point.
You didn't like the bubble?
It's not really that I don't mind it. It's just, for me, the reason I personally don't like the bubble is because there's always going to be those fans out there who say it doesn't count because it was the bubble. Yeah. That's why I personally don't like the bubble. Because for me personally, I don't care if it's a bubble or not. For you to win, you're winning, right? To me, you're the champ. Whether I like you, whether I hate you, it is what it is. First, it's kind of the same thing what people do with the Bucks, right? I'm not a fan of the Bucks, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well they got away with it because Kevin Durant's shoe was too big," and it's like, okay, I get it, but guess what? At the end of the day, Kevin Durant's foot was on the line. No matter how you look at it, his foot was on the line. They made it. He made it, but guess what? It was still done. That 1 point screwed him over. It is what it is.
I agree with you on both, because like with the whole bubble situation, it's like the things we didn't stay in the bubble, so they had to go through things in
Yes.
the bubble, and it's like we all play sports. When you grow, you play sports in an empty arena, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So
I
my
never
thing is,
really said LeBron James that championship run was a fluke. Anything I gave them they respect. They won that championship, you know. And as
right.
far as the Buck situation, if I'm on the team, I don't care if the next person hurt. I'm trying to get my ring. So it's like I'm not gonna feel no type of way. I'm a champion. So it's
Right.
like you can't control things happen, and unfortunately it happened.
And that's one thing I say is like, let's say we're playing against an injured team. Are we supposed to
Go easy.
exactly like? Is that what I'm supposed to do? No. Gritty Yuki, you may not be a fan of the Buccaneers, but still a fan of Tom Brady 110%. When he left us, I wasn't mad. I was upset because obviously we lost Tom Brady, but I understood why he left because we literally his last year had the worst wide receiver room in the league, and it wasn't even close. Wasn't
Us,
even close.
us Bears fans thought we had a small chance to get them.
Before I thought Buccaneers was legit, I thought maybe he could have went there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Last comment for the night, Gritty and Yuki. Oh, look, an injured team, time to throw 10 touchdowns. Look, man, that's just how it is. Like, if you're hurt, it sucks. But that doesn't mean me. If I'm playing a hurt team, I'm not gonna take it easy. I'm not gonna be nice. Fuck that.
Because if a politic knows some dirt, they gonna use the dirt to to win the argument. So.
No, exactly. That's just how it is. You take every advantage you possibly can, and you go from there. So, for me, that's just how I look at it. Follow us on Twitter at Prideful Takes. If you guys see any news out there you guys like, feel free tag us in it, and we'll put it on the show. Catch us on Facebook, Prideful Takes. We be putting up all sorts of updates and all that good stuff there. If you don't have Facebook, you're in luck because we're also on YouTube at Prideful Takes. We go live on YouTube as well as Facebook. Visit our website www.pridefultakes.com. Not only is every episode of the podcast up there, we also have original articles. And check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the Prideful Takes podcast.
One thing.
Go ahead, Mike.
And we 32 followers away from 100. Just to throw that out there.
You said what now?
We are 32 followers away from on the Facebook page. All we need is 32 more followers to reach that 100 mark.
Yes, sir. And in terms of followers on Facebook, we have. Hold on. Why was it not letting me? Why are you there? It is. We got 68 followers on Facebook. So the upwards fight to get to 100, we will get there. And then after that, it's 2, then 5, then 1,000, and one day we will take over the world. But it has been your boy Pride. On behalf of Mike, I will be back here on Friday. Be safe, ladies and gentlemen.
Knew where that was going. That was a great read. Oh, Lillard from the logo. That'll quiet the
2 on the season. 2nd and 1 for the Bills. They handle the rush. Allen looking. End zone.
2-2. Shohei Ohtani. Center field. Let's watch it go.
Did several of those inside low kicks.